guys, so today I'm going to be doing my July wrap up, and in July I read 14 books, which I think is pretty good. I had one really good reading week in particular, and that was because it was held through Booktubeathon, which I didn't really update you guys on. I was going to do a Booktubeathon wrap up, but it kind of just all slipped away from me. I've had a really busy month, and that's why I think 14 books was still pretty good, so I guess I'll go through them and I'll also tell you the books that I did read for Booktubeathon, so you do know in case you were interested. So at the start of the month, the first book that I read was The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake by Amelia Bender. I read this with Jen over at Gentle Strength, who has a YouTube channel where she discusses not only books but a wide variety of things, and I love her channel, and I buddy read this with her. This book follows a girl named Rose who one day discovers that she has the ability that when she eats something, she will get that person's feelings and emotions. For example, whenever she eats her mother's cooking, she tastes the sadness that is surrounding her mother, which surprises her because her mother always seemed to her like a very cheerful and happy person, and it kind of follows her life and journey struggling with this thing that she has got. It deals with these really interesting magical realism elements, and I really enjoyed this book, especially buddy reading it with Jen. It made me think about the book a whole lot more, and I really just enjoyed and savoured it more because I was looking forward to reading it to discuss bits of Jen. And so yeah, I really enjoyed my time reading it. I think partly more because I was reading it with Jen. I ended up reading this book though a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I still did really enjoy this one, and I thought it was really interesting and intriguing. After that, I read In Real Life by Joey Graceffa. I don't have this one here to show you because I borrowed it from the library and it's already been returned. This one is a memoir kind of Joey's life. Joey is a YouTuber, you've probably heard of him. I enjoyed this one. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was very interesting to read some parts of his life and him especially dealing with his alcoholic mother, and I enjoyed those parts of it and everything and seeing more into his life. And I rated that book a 3 out of 5 stars. And then I read The Witch's Kiss by Catherine and Elizabeth Kaur. This book follows a girl named Mary who is a witch, and she doesn't want to be. Something happened a while ago with her powers, and now she's just trying to forget about it and try not to ever be a witch again. But then she finds out that there's this curse, and then there's this boy, Jack, and she seems really drawn to him, but it turns out that he's got to do with the curse, and she's probably going to have to end up killing him to break the curse. It's been a while since I've read this one, and there's a lot going on in it, so it's a bit hard to fully explain it now that it's passed through my brain a bit, but I did do a review on it, so you can go check that out if you like. It's on my channel, so if you want to know more about it and my more thoughts, then you can go watch that. But I think I rated this one a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Saving Alex, which I don't have here. I borrowed it from the library and I can't remember who it's by. It's by obviously a woman named Alex. It's a true story about a girl named Alex who, when she was 15, she came out gay to her Mormon parents, and they sent her away to this kind of home where they were hoping they would get the gay out of her. You know that these things exist, but it kind of shocked me how recent this actually took place. When Alex will talk about a certain year, I would think what I was doing in that year, and it was crazy to me that, you know, this still went on in that time, and it's crazy to think that it's still going on today in some areas. It was a really sad read. I did enjoy it. I felt like the writing could have been a little bit better, but I still did enjoy it, and I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. I think it's an important read, if any. And then I read On the Other Side by Carrie Hope Fletcher. Carrie is a YouTuber called It's Way Past My Bedtime, and I've actually done a review on this, so I'm not going to talk too fully on my thoughts and feelings on it, but I did really enjoy this one. It's about an old woman named Evie who passes away in her sleep, surrounded by her friends and family. The perfect way to go. However, she realizes that she can't reach her own personal heaven because there are things holding her back. Evie's soul must be light enough to get to her own personal heaven, and so she has to go back into her past and unburden whatever is keeping her soul there. As I said, I have done a review on it, but I did really enjoy this one. It was a really quick read and easy, and made me kind of think, and I just really enjoyed this one. And it also made me want to have hard-boiled lollies. You'll get that if you've read this book, but I rated this one a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Made You Up by, what's your name, Francine Zapier or something like that. The blurb for this book was really vague. It just says on the back, she was used to crazy, she wasn't prepared for normal. It's about a girl, I believe from memory, I think she dealt with schizophrenia, and she has a lot of hallucinations, and she has trouble figuring out what is real and what is not real. But it's about her going to school for the first time and making friends and still trying to figure out what's real and not real. I felt like it only dealt with schizophrenia in one way. Now, I'm not really too sure how schizophrenia works, but the main character here only really dealt with the hallucinations part of schizophrenia, and I know schizophrenia is way more than that, so I'm not sure if people only can just get hallucinations from schizophrenia or other stuff. I'm really not well versed on the subject, but I still did enjoy it from what we did see of it. And it was a really intriguing read, and as you would go on, you would keep forgetting that you were in this girl's mind who would make stuff up and wouldn't know what was real and not real. So you would get through a novel and then realize that you've just read something that wasn't real, and it became really disjointing and trying to figure out what was real and what wasn't real, like her. I really enjoyed this book and I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. So the ending though was a bit of a cliffhanger and I'm still not quite sure what happened. So if you've read that, let me know what you think. Obviously put spoilers in the comments though below so nobody gets spoiled. After that I read Breathing Underwater by Sophie Hardcastle, and I got sent this book for review by Hatchet Australia, so thank you very much Hatchet Australia. I got sent this ARC unsolicited, so that means I didn't request it, it just came up in the mail one day, and I read this book and oh my gosh, I'm so happy that I received this. I knew nothing about the book, but I really enjoyed this one, and it's by an Australian author too, and this is her first debut, I believe, fiction work, and it's so good. It follows 2 twins, but mainly one twin, Grace. She has another twin, Ben, and Ben has always been the kind of star, and Grace has kind of always been in his shadows, and she doesn't really mind that much. They live in an Australian coastal town, so they go surfing a lot and they hang out with their friends, and they're just kind of a normal group of friends. But then one day something unthinkable happens and all that she knows is lost, and she kind of has to move past that and figure out how to, I guess, breathe underwater. Do you see what I did there? As I said, I really enjoyed this one and I really liked it, and I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. So this is where Booktubeathon started. So the next books I'm going to show you, I read it in the Booktubeathon week. The first book I read in the Booktubeathon week was The Ruining by Anna Collymore. This follows a girl named Annie who goes to babysit with a family and live with a family. She thinks it's going to be a perfect dream. She hasn't really had a good home life, so she thinks this is the perfect way to escape. The family seems perfect and it seems like everything she wants when she is older. However, quickly things start to turn a little bit sinister. She starts getting blamed for mistakes that she didn't even realize that she did or remember even happening. Her bedroom door gets taken away for unknown reasons, and she gets told things that are happening that she just doesn't remember happening, and she starts to fear that she's having hallucinations or something more sinister is at play with one of the family members mucking her around. I enjoyed this book. I really did, but I knew pretty obvious what was going on, so it wasn't really to me figuring out what was happening. I knew pretty much straight away what was causing it, and I was just waiting for her to figure it out, so that was a little bit annoying, but I still really did enjoy this one, I think, and I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars, so I don't think it's one that I would reread. After that, I read The Carousel by Brendan Ritchie, which is again another Australian novel, and it follows this group of teenagers who become stuck in this mall one day. They have everything they ever need, but they just can't get out. None of the doors work, and it seems like outside is just empty, barren. Something's gone on outside and they're stuck now in this mall. What seems like the apocalypse has gone on outside, and they have to figure out if they should try and escape or stay in the mall where everything seems to be there at their disposal. I enjoyed this book again and I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I did have some issues with it, but I did really enjoy it and really wanted to know where the story goes, and I believe there is a sequel coming out next year, so I am excited to read that one when it does. After that, in the Booktubeathon week, I read Zombie, a novel by J.R. Angelina. This one was a very weird book. It follows a boy named Jeremy who is obsessed with zombies, all things zombies. He's got a list of favorite zombie novels and he loves zombies. Then one day he finds this tape in his father's basement and it's very different. It shows this man tied down on this bed and stuff starts going on in this video that's very weird, and he thinks something's at play, and so he wants to figure out what's happening. So it's about him trying to unravel this mystery while also going through life and obviously also still talking about zombies because that's his main passion. The ending though was my main fault for the book. Everything happened way too quickly and way too fast, and it was kind of confusing, and for that I only rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. After that, I read The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness, and I rated this one a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. It follows the premise that not everyone has to be the chosen one, and it's about a boy who is actually not the chosen one. It follows Mikey, and he's just trying to graduate and get through school and confess his love to this girl he's always liked, while trying not to get killed in the school that's probably going to be blown up again with all these people running around trying to save the world, where he just wants no part of that. He just wants to graduate. I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was a great coming of age story and really showed an importance that not everyone has to be a hero in a YA novel. Not everyone has to be the chosen one. And I really enjoyed this one a lot more than I was expecting to, and as I said, I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. I borrowed this one from the library, but I really want a copy of my own because I enjoyed it that much. And then I read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Now, this was the end of Booktubeathon. I only got got halfway through this, so I didn't end up finishing it, but I still read a considerable amount for Booktubeathon, as you just saw. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the adaptation to this, but I do plan to do that this week. I've just been super busy. You all know what Jane Eyre's about, and I really enjoyed it. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I really want to buy another copy because this copy is very old and ratted. After that, I read Pegasus by Robin McKinley. This book was really interesting. It mainly intrigued me because on the back it just says a gorgeously written fantasy about the friendship between a princess and a Pegasus, and I really love horses and Pegasus and all those magical beings, so I thought this would be the perfect story for me, and I did enjoy it. It was a little bit of a letdown just because I think it was slightly for a younger audience, but I still did enjoy it. It follows a girl who on her 12th birthday she knows that she is going to be put with a Pegasus. She's going to be bound with this Pegasus. Every person is bound with a Pegasus, but you know, they can't talk to each other. That's generally how it goes. However, when she is bound to her Pegasus, she finds that they have a connection and they can talk to each other, and this scares people. It makes them frightened of them and the friendship that they quickly form, and this strong friendship, and it makes them frightened that human and Pegasus shouldn't be this close, and it's about them fighting for their friendship. I did really enjoy this one, as I said, but I think I would have enjoyed it slightly more if I was slightly younger, but I still enjoyed it and I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. The last book I read was Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling, John Tiffany and Jack Thorne. Obviously this is a play. It is the 8th story in the Harry Potter world, set 19 years later, and I have a lot of feelings on it, some good, some not so good. However, I don't think I will be considering it canon. I will have a review coming out shortly if it's not out already, so I highly recommend go check that out, but I will talk about spoilers, so try and read this first if you can. But yeah, I have a lot of mixed feelings about this, and I think in the end I rated it a 3.5 out of 5 stars, and I think for me too, I was being a little bit generous. I think really it's a 3 stars, but it pains me to rate a Harry Potter book even just a 3.5 star because they're normally 5 stars for me. You know, they're fantastic, but this book was just, it was disappointing, but it was really great revisiting the characters and the world again. As I said, I just have a lot of mixed feelings on this, and you should check out my review on it and see what I fully thought of it. So yeah, I think I did pretty well reading 14 books in the month of July because I had a really busy month, and I still think that 14 books is pretty good. That Booktubeathon really helped me push up the book. I think I read like 4 or 5 books during that week, so that was really nice. It just got all really busy towards the end of the month, and I kind of felt my reading slowing down a lot. I definitely read, I think, a diverse range of books, and I really enjoyed reading this diverse range of books, and I'm going to try and read more diversely. They dealt with a whole range of different subjects, and it worked. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you read in the month of July and what book you would like to read most out of these books, and like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you'd like to see more book related videos from me, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye!